You are looking at my Harvest Maid solid state dehydrator. Now, it's not all that it's cracked up to be right now. You can see it's in pieces. Got a bit of a story here. Here's the other parts. So you got the trays on the bottom there. And this is the inside the metal casing, which is, the metal lid is there. So this is the inside where the trays go. Alright, that's the back of it. Let's see, try and show you without tipping this whole thing over. So it's got it's got ribs there where the trays go. The trays go on in there, so you have a whole bunch of trays worth of food dehydration capability. But anyways, this plastic box goes inside the metal, and the air circulates around it, pushed by a fan. Now that's all obvious. I mean, that's what dehydrators do. This is a really old school one. Now the issue I had with this originally, and what my project is tonight, is the fan. You can't see that very well. So I'm going to turn off the light here. So it had an old AC fan in it, and there's still not very much light down here. Had an old AC fan, and its bearing was wore out and it wasn't spinning. So I replaced it with a DC fan, and I thought my problems were solved, but doing that I wasn't being too careful, and replacing the fan I ended up smashing the element, which you can see the springs in there. That's the element there. I can't show it very well, I don't have a lot of light, but anyways, I smashed the the piece that was holding the element apart, and then the element burned out in a section. So I made a problem worse, going to a DC fan. So my project tonight is to make this little hairdryer, this little Wonder 1200 I picked up from a secondhand store for $5. I don't even know if it was that expensive, but anyways, I need to change this, take it apart, and I am going to use this for the fan and the coil. This is a similar wattage. Let me see if I can find. Let's see. That's not what I'm looking for. Let me find it here first. Looking down there, you can't see it. Anyways, it says, what does it say? 125 volts, 60 hertz, 1200 watts. Okay, so that's what the 1200 stands for. Now this unit, I don't know where the specs were on. I think it was a 600 watt unit anyways. So that'll be a stronger, it'll get hotter faster, but that's fine. There's thermostats, individual thermostats on, I believe, the fan and the element. So that when it gets too hot, the fan comes on to push the air through, and obviously the element comes on when the temperature goes down. So what I think I could do is pull this little guy apart and separate the element and the fan. I suppose I could probably leave the DC fan in there, I suppose, because this one might blow too hard. That's a good point. It might blow too hard. So I could just use the element from this. But I'm going to try and replace it in there. And like I say, it's an AC element, I think. So I should just be able to rip that out and wire up the element inside this guy, which is that round coily thing in there. So I'm hoping that will work. I don't know how it's all going to work, how it's all going to come together, but anyways, we'll try that. That's my project. I won't bore you with this. I'm going to speed this up. There is possibly asbestos in here. I'm not sure if this insulating material is asbestos or not, so I'm going to handle it carefully. Well, all I did was this is the heater coil is AC, I believe. So all I did was I directly wired up the little wonder to the AC power that was going to the coil, the heater coil there. Now I might just leave this thing intact and see if I can just mount it in there, and it just might just work like that. I'm going to drill a couple holes and see if I can put a tie strap through to hold it in place. Let's see if that works. I'm just going to try to turn it on, and switch is in the off position. I'll make sure it doesn't start blowing sparks or something. That's a good sign. On and off when it gets warm enough. So the only thing I can do now is put it together and see if it's going to work. Now it's still on at low, it's up to temperature. I think what I really need is a fan. I may need the fan to keep going. Because it's probably supposed to keep passing air over the stuff you're trying to dehydrate. So I may wire this guy up to keep pushing air through it, even if it's not on. What I decided to do was to put my little DC fan on the back, just a piggyback, as an auxiliary fan. And so what I can do is keep that one going all the time, and then the hair dryer inside, you can see the white round plastic there. When that one shuts off, I can keep the airflow going with this one. So that should give me the best of both worlds, and then it's got a separate plug, so I can always unplug it if I think I don't need it. But I think you need that to keep circulating the air inside the box, even if the heat's not going. So that's the downfall of directly wiring in the hair dryer in there. Because, like I say, when it's up to temperature, it just completely shuts off. So this will keep the airflow going, and hopefully it should dehydrate some food.